GNOME 3.12 is due to be released on March 26th. We'll be looking at an overview of some of the exciting things you'll see in the new release. 3.12 comes with a lot of polish to GNOME Shell and a number of new features to GNOME applications. And there's also good news for developers out there. 3.12 brings speed. For starters, GNOME Shell loads faster and uses fewer resources, which is great because this allows your computer to focus on what is most important, applications. This release also brings improvements to many applications, as well as a new way to organize your apps, with custom application folders which can be created easily with GNOME software. Software itself has also received a major overhaul, with many new exciting features. Many applications are now shipping screenshots and star ratings, which give you a good overview of the variety in your search results. It's now also possible to change software sources, update manually, and search with increased performance along with many other improvements. GNOME 3.12 also brings a new gedit with an overhauled user interface. The new minimalistic user interface helps you focus on the task at hand, while preserving all the features you need in a text editor. Videos has similarly gained a new face, along with new features. Through Videos, it is now possible to browse your local library and watch videos in the new playback view. Also, browsing through streaming videos from a number of web services is now possible directly from the new slick user interface. With web, browsing content on the internet is now also possible much more elegantly. Finding a website you visited before, or downloading content to your computer has aesthetically improved to enhance your experience without getting in the way of your work. In this release, there are also a few totally new applications. Sound Recorder is now here to meet your audio recording needs, while Logs helps you monitor the state of your computer via the systemd journal. All this and many more updates have happened to applications, all part of the 3.12 release. The under-the-hood effort on making GNOME Shell run natively on Wayland continues. At present, primary functionality, display configuration, and color management are implemented and included in the Wayland preview ship with GNOME. For future releases, work is currently being done to better support different types of input, clipboard support, and startup notifications. For developers, we have quite a lot of news as well. GNOME 3.12 includes many improvements that will make it easier to integrate your app with GNOME and other desktop environments. Improvements have been made to various APIs, primarily the gsubpros API, which has become a lot more powerful, and gnotification, which has received a whole new API for desktop notification support. GTK3 has also received new components, such as the GTK Flowbox, GTK Action Bar, and GTK Popover. These will give you new possibilities for creating a great user experience and make your app that much more awesome. Alongside the new internal changes, the documentation that you rely on has also received an overhaul in look as well as in content. These changes aim at increasing your productivity, just like the new search provider for your favorite terminal commands. Overall, GNOME 3.12 brings a lot of exciting new features to the table, once again improving our favorite desktop environment and everything that comes with it. If you want to be a part of our efforts towards GNOME, join us here. We look forward to helping you get started. My name is Karen Sandler, and thanks for watching. Thanks to the hard work of our contributors, and thanks to the Friends of GNOME, we're proud to announce GNOME 3.14. With this release, GNOME brings an improved desktop for its users and developers. The visual details in GNOME have been revised, and new animations have been implemented to improve your user experience. This release also brings better support for multi-touch. You can now use swipe and zoom in a multitude of GNOME apps. GNOME Shell also has new gestures. For example, when switching workspaces and opening the activities overview. With help from GNOME community and from this year's internship participants, a lot of the GNOME apps have received updates. Software now supports app add-ons, Maps gain navigation routing, Photos can import your photos from Google, and Weather's interface was redesigned. Furthermore, Clocks and Calculator have new search providers, so you can check the time and calculate live in the search field. Sudoku and Mines were redesigned for a better gameplay experience, and a new game, named Hitori, is now a part of GNOME Games. With GNOME 3.14, developers can look forward to a better development environment. GTK has begun an ongoing effort to improve the developer experience. This release ships with GTK Inspector, an interactive debugger made to improve your debugging workflow. GTK also comes with more documentation, including a brand new set of human interface guidelines. Apart from the news for GTK, this release brings more stability to the GNOME compositor in Wayland. Furthermore, glib has gained new features, like Unicode 7 compliance, and support with the new MIME apps spec. Many distributions will ship GNOME 3.14 in the future. If you can't wait, try out our demo image in the description, or come join us in making our next GNOME release even better. We look forward to getting you started. Spring has come to the Northern Hemisphere, and so has a new release of GNOME. This release, we are bringing you new streamlined theming and a better development experience. Several applications have been revamped. For example, GNOME's image viewer, which now features new user interface controls. Files has also received some love, with simplified popover menus and improved file view. GNOME 3.16 also brings new visuals to GNOME Shell. This includes the Activities overview, the Application menu, and the System menu. GNOME Shell also provides an improved design of the notification system. These improvements aim to make notifications in GNOME more discoverable, but also easy to get out of your way. This cycle features 3 new GNOME apps. One of them is a preview of GNOME Calendar, an app which helps you plan ahead. GNOME Calendar integrates with your online accounts, so you can take your calendar with you on the go. This release also features a preview of GNOME Books, a new application for your book reading needs. Furthermore, this release brings a preview of Builder, a new application for developers. Builder is an IDE aiming to improve the developer experience on GNOME. Thanks to more than 500 donors, the project was successfully crowdfunded. If you want to help improve the developer experience too, visit the crowdfunding campaign in the description below. GTK also aims to improve the development experience this cycle, with many improvements to the GTK Inspector support for OpenGL and a Mir backend. Finally, GNOME 3.16 ships an improved glib, aiming to make life much easier for C developers. The new GNOME release is available for you as a live image to try now. GNOME 3.16 will be shipped by many distributions in the near future. GNOME is made by people for people. Help us make GNOME better by getting involved today. Thanks to the hard work of interns and contributors, GNOME announces version 3.18. In this release, GNOME improves the general user experience for users and new developers alike. If your computer has a light sensor, GNOME can now use it to automatically adjust the brightness of your screen. The touchscreen experience has also improved when selecting and modifying text. Files has received a lot of attention this cycle. There's a new view in the sidebar, so remote and internal locations are collected in one place for your convenience. Progress is now shown in the header bar when files are being copied. There are many other improvements, including a more polished search function, Google Drive integration, and better file management. Software has become the first to support updating device firmware through the new Linux Vendor Firmware Service. The service allows vendors to submit firmware, and GNOME software will allow you to install it with the click of a button. Furthermore, the GNOME community has improved a large variety of apps, including Calendar, which now comes with a management dialog to help you manage your calendars, Polari, with a better initial user experience, GNOME Documents, which is sporting a revamped user interface for organizing your documents, and Events, which annotation and video support has improved. GNOME 3.18 comes with a preview of GNOME To Do, a personal task manager helping you keep track of the tasks ahead of time. GNOME's development tools have also improved this cycle. Builder, for example, now has a source code minimap, a shortcut overview, and auto-completion for Python. The human interface guidelines have been restructured and include new usage patterns. GNOME Logs user interface now gives a better overview and can show you logs from the last 5 boots. Boxes has improved its interface with a new list view for users with a lot of virtual machines. Finally, GTK has received new typographic features. The new GNOME release is available for you as a live image to try now. Many distributions will also ship GNOME 3.18 in the near future. GNOME is a friendly community making free software for everyone. Excited? Join us in making GNOME the perfect desktop environment. GNOME is a worldwide community dedicated to creating a free and open source software desktop. The GNOME 3.20 release consists of the last 6 months of contributions from coders, designers, and writers. As a result, a dozen of GNOME's applications come with new features and a more attractive interface. GNOME Photos can crop your photos and apply filters to them. The Control Center has a revamped mouse panel. Software provides a seamless integration of sandboxed applications and OS upgrades. And furthermore, most applications now come with a keyboard shortcut window. Developers can look forward to an improved GNOME Builder, which now comes with XDG app building and project templates. GTK has stabilized its theming support with the move to CSS elements. GNOME 3.20 will be provided by many distributions soon. The GNOME community is friendly and open for anyone. Build a better desktop with us by getting involved today. GNOME is developing a free desktop for the next generation. It's created by an open community which provides a simple and beautiful experience for everyone. The application core is continually being improved. Many of the advancements were made by new and longtime contributors alike, together with GNOME interns from Outreachy and Google Summer of Code. Files has seen a lot of new development this cycle. Archives are now automatically extracted when opened. Files can also compress your data to the most commonly used archive formats, such as zip, tar, and 7-zip. Moreover, bulk renaming support makes it possible to rename multiple files at once in a single operation. A variety of patterns can be used, such as numbers or file metadata. This makes organizing large collections of files easy and convenient. GNOME software has received visual improvements and Flatpak integration. The landing page has been polished to be more attractive and colorful. This cycle also lands further integration for installing Flatpak bundles and repositories. Furthermore, GNOME Photos can share images from your image collection. Currently, sharing is supported by email and via Google Photos. Calendar supports using drag and drop to move your calendar events, making event rescheduling a breeze. Polari includes support for remembering passwords when identifying with authentication services. And GNOME Games has received gamepad support. Major work is being undertaken to improve the desktop infrastructure. GNOME is enhancing desktop security by building sandboxing technology with GTK, Wayland, and Flatpak. With this release, developers can make use of sandboxing technology directly from GNOME Builder. From the revamped header bar, you can compile your projects against a Flatpak runtime. GNOME 3.22 will be available through many distributions soon. We hope you like it. The GNOME community is friendly and open for anyone. We invite you to help us push the free desktop further by getting involved today. GNOME is a free desktop for your computer. It's a large project creating a modern and elegant desktop experience. Behind the project is a community of contributors who have worked together to bring you GNOME 3.24. The release includes quite a lot of changes to polish and fortify GNOME's applications and libraries. Within the past year, GNOME's Control Center has been a focus. The User Accounts panel, Online Accounts panel, and the Printer panel have been modernized. The Display panel supports automatically shifting the screen light according to time of day. This creates less strain on your eyes at night. If you own a drawing tablet, you can now use it under Wayland. The Wacom tablet panel also includes a small drawing area you can use to test your settings with. The GNOME community values your privacy. That's why, by default, the new release of GNOME Web protects you from being tracked when browsing the internet. Web also comes with a new pop-over menu for bookmarks, enabling you to easily tag and organize your favorite websites. Many other applications have also improved this cycle, including Calendar, which now has a weekly view to help you manage your schedule, Polari, with new contextual popovers and notification functionality, and Recipes, which is a new application containing recipes made by many members of the GNOME community. Developers can look forward to an improved GNOME Builder, with solid support for building containerized applications with Flatpak. Builder also supports multiple build systems, such as CMake, AutoTools, Cargo, and Mason. Many of these features have come to be thanks to heroes around the globe who have taken the initiative to organize events for the GNOME community. During the work on GNOME 3.24, a number of GNOME events took place, such as the Libre Application Summit in Portland, the GNOME Bug Squash Month initiative with 6 participating local groups, the Core Apps Hackfest in Berlin, and many other great events. GNOME could not exist without its supporting community. The project consists of many teams of contributors who volunteer their time to help advance the free desktop. Are you interested in helping with engagement, translation, documentation, or coding? We have guides and friendly people to help you get started. With your help, free software and GNOME can continue to grow. GNOME 3.26 is here, packed with 6 months of exciting changes by the community. The shell is GNOME's user interface. and this cycle it has received a visual overhaul of its search, giving you a better overview. GNOME's interface is configured from the Control Center, which features a new sidebar, making it possible to jump between settings easily to find what you are looking for. A dedicated Wi-Fi area ensures easy and logical access for managing wireless connections. The display settings are quicker to access, so you can configure common setups such as single displays, joint displays, and mirror. Many improvements have also landed for GNOME apps. SimpleScan has had a redesign of its editing tools. Polari now comes with an initial setup to get you started quickly, and has support for sending and receiving emojis. Logs gained event compression for better overview. Photos has new zoom controls. And disks gain the ability to resize partitions and new disk image files. Developers can look forward to big additions in Builder. It features a new visual design and animations. An initial built-in debugger enables you to debug application threads and add breakpoints, and much more. GNOME is a worldwide project, and with your help, we can push software freedom to the next level. Have a chat with us or read more at gnome.org. GNOME is a large project, creating a modern and elegant desktop experience. Behind GNOME is a passionate community of contributors who all work together to improve the performance, design, and features of the GNOME desktop. Their collective efforts bring many exciting changes in the 3.30 release. This cycle, GNOME Shell has had a serious focus on optimizing performance and should now be significantly easier to run on lower-powered devices. Control Center continues to bring even more improvements, with GNOME 3.30 adding compatibility and control for Thunderbolt 3 devices. Development on files continues with a unified path and search bar, and now, when resizing the window, the icons will intelligently adjust their distance from one another to fill the available space. Many other applications have had updates this cycle. Web has a new reader mode. Notes has improved note style and zoom. Boxes has gained free RDP support. And Fractal, the GNOME Matrix messaging client, has improved room discovery, performance, and stability. With GNOME 3.30, we are also debuting a brand new app, Podcasts, which is a fast and easy-to-use podcast client for the GNOME desktop. Developers can look for quality-of-life improvements to Builder. A new auto-completion engine provides more intelligent suggestions with much better performance. And new interactive code tooltips show you beautifully formatted documentation in real time while you code. GNOME is a worldwide project, and it is thanks to our passionate contributors and donors that we can keep providing quality, free software to users around the world. With the support from our friends of GNOME, we have held many events, summits, and hackfests over the past 6 months, including our largest GUADEC in recent years, which took place this year in Almería, Spain. Are you interested in contributing code, design, or translations for our next release? Get involved today. Read more at gnome.org. With a lot of hard work and dedication, GNOME developers have been refining the GNOME desktop experience with a modern, streamlined approach. With the 3.34 release, GNOME makes your day-to-day tasks smoother, easier, and more enjoyable. Whether you are a developer, content creator, or just an everyday computer user. To enhance GNOME's modern, animation-centric experience, we've been able to drastically improve the responsiveness and consistency of the desktop, so you can enjoy a smooth GNOME experience on a wide variety of hardware devices and generations. Many small changes have been made to the overall look and feel of GNOME with the new shell theme. It's now possible to rearrange and group apps into folders with simple drag and drop. Managing your important dates has never been easier with a complete calendar manager, which integrates seamlessly with third-party calendars. Pictures you add to your backgrounds now show up prominently in the panel, and you can change both the desktop and the lock screen background separately, all in one easy-to-use interface. Search options can now be rearranged, and your results will be sorted in the order you choose. Settings now makes use of responsive design, making GNOME easier to use and configure, even on small screen devices. It's now easier than ever to code and develop in GNOME, with a wealth of new additions to the System Profiler, GNOME Builder, as well as virtualization improvements with boxes. But really, this is all just the tip of the iceberg. Come join our active, friendly community to find out more about what GNOME can do for your everyday work and play. We hope you enjoy GNOME 3.34. The GNOME team is back with a fresh new 3.36 release. This version brings a substantial number of new features and design updates. With every release, our goal is to make the GNOME desktop more polished, better looking, and easier to use. GNOME 3.36 represents a major user experience overhaul, with a lot of changes to the visual style of the desktop. Many of these changes focus on organization and functional design. These include plenty of small design changes, which make GNOME easier than ever to use. Even clocks and contacts have been redesigned to add more polish to your day-to-day use of GNOME. Productivity is at the core of GNOME's design. With so many distractions, sometimes you just need to switch off. GNOME 3.36 lets you do this easily with the addition of a Do Not Disturb switch, allowing you to get more work done while still getting important system notifications. App folders now appear as dialogues in the center of the screen and allow the folder name to be changed from inside the dialog. Settings are now simpler to navigate with better organization, so it's easy to find what you're looking for. The lock and login screens have been merged and now require only a click instead of a drag-up action. Notifications now show on the lock screen alongside the login dialog, and GNOME now automatically sets your login screen as a blurred version of your wallpaper for a consistent, sleek, and attractive design. With each release, we're excited to bring you a truckload of awesome features and improvements. We hope you enjoy using 3.36, and if you're new to GNOME, we invite you to join our great community. The GNOME team is proud to present the new 3.38 release. This version increases performance and stability, as well as a host of new features for security, convenience, and fun. GNOME has a few revised app icons to add to the mix, as well as other design improvements, adding battery percentage to the indicator and restart to the power off options. We've added a new welcome tour, which appears after install to help new users feel right at home. Application launchers can now be rearranged and organized and moved in the grid to reflect what's important to you. This allows you to make the app grid your own, as well as making it easier to find apps when you need them. With the newly designed fingerprint dialog, setup is a breeze. You can now log into GNOME with just a simple touch. We've also added parental control settings, giving you more control over what your child can access. Sharing your computer's Wi-Fi is easier than ever with the addition of a scannable QR code to connect your mobile devices. GNOME response time is now faster while using monitors with different refresh rates. You now have even more control over your browsing experience in GNOME Web with intelligent tracking prevention, video and audio blocking options, browser tab mute and unmute, and you can now import passwords and bookmarks from Chromium. The GNOME Maps app is now resizable, adjusting seamlessly to fit the smaller screens of mobile devices. There's certainly a lot to enjoy in GNOME 3.38. We hope you enjoy using it as much as we enjoy making it.